And hello good people of the internet, it is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Mumu. In this episode, I'm just going to talk about stuff. Let's see what the topic is by the time I'm finished. First thing I want to show you is this. It arrived in the post yesterday, but it arrived after I did the video for yesterday. This is the bind sigil that Spud from Tommy and Spud podcast has made. It's just on a nice piece of wood. It's engraved, stained. It looks brilliant. We smell off it too. For those people who are into olfactory type pleasures. He's making these, not just the bind sigil, but for any sigil you want. So I'll leave a link to his video all about that in the description below. It was originally going to be just for the Discord people, but he wants to open it up to everyone because he's really enjoying doing it. So they're quite cheap too, so get on that if that's something you want. He'll also go through, like do a kind of a Skype call with you if you want to help create or co-create a sigil with him. For whatever your intent is. I really like that sigil, and I think even after the corona thing, whenever that goes, it's a good bind sigil, like as a protection, sun and healing, a generally good all-round sigil, not just for the times we live in, but for all times. Perhaps maybe it'll become my first tattoo, who knows. Now, the next thing I want to show you is I got this. Now, this is something that in normal situations I wouldn't, no way buy. I bought this off eBay, and it's pine needles. Like Ireland's full of pine needles, but I can't get to a forest. So I thought as part of my God bothering of Pan, I would bring the forest to me and buy some pine needles. Now it's lovely, and I think I was going to do it as a kind of a potpourri offering to the great God Pan. I was also going to put it as a kind of on my burner. I've shown this burner before. It's lit, so I won't move it. A candle, and it's got like a mesh sheet on it, so it's kind of like the essential oil burners but with a mesh sheet, so you can burn resins and herbs and stuff like that. And I did try it, and it's not tremendously successful, so I might have to cut up or grind the pine up a bit more. So failing that, I'll just get some incense, the resin of pine, and see how that goes. The other thing that arrived as part of my collection of CDs as magic totems is this Black Star by David Bowie. So easy and cheap, so cheap to buy CDs these days, because you just get them second hand for like pennies. It's like books now that you just you pay more in postage than you do for the actual thing. But this is wonderful, and you forget that when you just download music or you Spotify music, that's the whole idea of sleeve notes, and that is like going to be a very lost art, and some great stuff. It's really well done. I should look. So yeah, not to play, because obviously I have it, but as a totemic item. The other ones I have is Dr. D by Damon Albarn, which is a wonderful album if you haven't heard it already. And then it's Twin Temples album. And the book behind me, I doubt you can see due to the exposure, but they're, that's the thing. I don't know what my next one will be, or if maybe 3 is the complete set, who knows. In other news with my eyes, I think one of the reasons why I've kind of been not going full tilt into the comic stuff is that it's become very sore and stuff to spend long times on the computer, and I think that's a factor of, like, rather than open up Clip Studio and getting into drawing, there's just kind of reluctance in it. This is going to be in some sense painful. It's very hard to describe what it is going on. I can see fine, it's just I'm aware of seeing, and everything is a bit too sharp. It's like when I look at the computer, rather than it being, say, exactly blurry or whatever, I really can see like the kerning or the rendering of the text and how bad it is. And any kind of low resolution image is really sore. It's like, we're trying to explain to the optician, it's not that my my eyesight seems to have gotten worse. In a sense, it seems to have gotten a lot better, and I can't cope with it. The very closest thing I can describe to it is that when you're hungover, and everything, your eyes are just way more sensitive to everything in the way. Your brain in general gets way more sensitive, but light is a bit brighter, certain colours are a bit sharper, that kind of thing. So I did get a lend of some reading glasses of my father-in-law just to see what the story was. Would it be, if that is my eyes just fucked, like, is that just the thing? And they're horrible. They just make everything worse. So it's the same problem, only everything's much closer. It's not sharp or smoothing off the edges, or it's not making anything clearer, it's just making it closer. So I don't know, they're just a cheap pair of dollar reading glasses, so I doubt they're going to be, you know, good representation of proper glasses. But that's when you just can't get to an optician. That's the kind of stuff you have to try. I did start my map stuff yesterday, so I did the scanning thing, and I will be doing the next one today as part of trying to improve my eyes. And I've just been dousing my eyes in eye drops and doing compresses and all of these things. And today was like, at one stage it was really sore around lunchtime, and I was very tired and very aware of my eyes. And then in the afternoon it was fine. And it was more when I was very absorbed at what I was doing, because I finally got around to learning Unreal Engine, and I've been putting together the different sets that I want. And kind of once I was busy and got into it, the whole kind of notion of my eyes just kind of went out the window, and I didn't think of them at all, which is interesting. I wasn't aware of it. But anytime I'd kind of sit back and I'd have a, you know, go for coffee, I'd become suddenly aware of my eyes again. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that or what the future holds for that, but hopefully I'll get into the opticians next week for no other reason other than to stop boring you silly about this eye problem. I was up then earlier on, I had to get dog food and turtle food, and I had just put the eye drops in my eyes, and it looked like I'd been crying, and you could see the guy in the counter in the shop. It's like, he's going, "You okay?" I was yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's not depression, or it's not the end of the world. It's just, you know, bad eyes. So yeah, the Unreal Engine's really cool. I spent all morning kind of going through a tutorial with these two guys, and I was just completely lost in the whole thing. They were talking about stuff that I just hadn't a notion about, and I just felt completely out of my depth. And I've gone, no, I just want to know how to do this. And they would fly through things, you know, just open this distance of, I was like, oh, will you stop? I felt like an old man screaming at the TV, will you slow down? But it turned out they were just terrible teachers, because I went to then another tutorial on YouTube, and it was just so straightforward and easy, and like, it was as if it was one of those things that someone who knows so much but doesn't know how to teach it, it's just, in a sense, they're just displaying how much they know. You know, they're not actually teaching you anything, and I find that very frustrating. But I got what I needed to get to. The actual learning bit of Unreal Engine that I need to learn, I've learned, and it was much simpler. Well, no, it was about as simple as I hoped it was, but I thought it would be slightly more complicated. And now it's just a thing of putting all these things together. So I started on like a flat apartment for one of the characters, just so I have full reference to draw around. Something I always wanted to do with the other comics and never just got around to doing it. I rushed straight into the actual comic, and it would have been immensely helpful doing it. So at least I'm going to do it this time. And it's literally just placing of acids and building walls and stuff. It's not anything too intensive. You know, there's no need for Blender or 3D Max or any of the stuff. If there's an asset I can't find, I can just buy it. Hopefully not too many of them though, because it can be quite expensive. So that's kind of the update today. That's just it. There's nothing tremendously exciting going on, other than I got a few things in the post, and my eyes are pretty much being weird. So I hope your day is going better, and you have a much more interesting complaint if you do have a complaint. And if you don't have a complaint, I hope you have a much more interesting day than I've had. Not that my day was bad, it was just, you know, not every day can be 10 out of 10, but it certainly wasn't a bad day. So I'm blabbling, that's my cue to leave. So good people of the internet, until tomorrow, may our best days be ahead, and be well.